Well, it was when I was in nursery. I got like a normal illness, like quite a few people had it. Um, and like after a while, my mum noticed that I wasn't breathing properly, so she took me to the hospital, worried that there might be something wrong. And after a while, they found out that my heart was enlarged, and they couldn't save it, so they had to put me on the transplant list.
At the age of 2, doctors said Eloise had a 30% chance of survival unless she was given a new heart.
Well, because I was an emergency, I was only put on it for 24 hours. Before then, they said they found a match. I was supposed to have it in Great Ormond Street, but they didn't have any beds, so they had to fly me over to Newcastle, and that's where I had the transplant.
It's been 14 years since Eloise received her new heart. Now in year 11, studying for her GCSEs, she's living a normal life like any teenager.
I think the first year, more for myself, it was quite difficult, a huge thing to come to terms with. Lots of medication, you're given life expectancies, you're thrown into a world that you don't really know anything about. So then after that, I think after the first year, it sort of gets easier, life gets normal. She went back to nursery, started school, and has done everything the same as her peers. Until sort of 3 years ago, she became quite unwell. For almost a year on and off, she had 2 rejection episodes, which means her body was fighting the heart, and she had fluid around it and needed lots of medication and lots of monitoring. We think it was probably puberty. She sort of all of a sudden grew out of her medication. But since then, that episodes have been over, and she's back to doing everything that she wants to again, and there's no restrictions on her life.
In the past 5 years, 142 people in Bristol have received an organ donation. Eloise is one of the lucky ones. There are still 60 people in our city on the waiting list.
Organ donation has become a large part of options for therapy for people with all sorts of conditions, and we go all the way from blood and marrow through to organs specifically like liver and kidneys, heart, lungs, corneas, endless parts of our body we can now use again if we donate them. There are some conditions, for example, chronic kidney problems, where people whose kidneys have failed need to be on therapy several times a week. That has a variety of treatments, but can mean a large part of their week spent in hospital. They're never quite as well as they were, and for them, new kidneys mean a whole new life.
41% of the Bristol population have ticked the box to donate their organs, and the rest of us are being encouraged to do the same. I'm Rachel for Made in Bristol TV.